Once upon a time, there were two detectives called Jake and Will Hardy. The brothers were called to Grimm HQ to find out who had brutally murdered the wealthy grandmother Rose. They travelled far and wide to meet the suspects who now sat before them. There was the aptly named Little Red, the gentle giant Samuel Hunt, and the evil Mr. DeWolf. Little Red trembled in her seat as she sat across from the detectives. The pair scared her, especially in the cold dark room. "Why were you at grandmother's house?" asked Will calmly. The mousy Red squeaked out an answer. "To deliver cake and wine. She's very sick." "Was it poison cake?" shouted Jake. No, it was sponge," whimpered poor Little Red. The Hardys wanted to know everything, start to finish. Little Red explained her awful adventure, her trials on her travels, their lovingly prepared food, the key she used to get into the house, and the sight of her grandmother's bloody corpse being dragged across the hallway. "And then what?" asked Will. "The wolf advanced on me. I screamed for help, but he grabbed me. That's when Mr. Hunt saved me with the axe," continued Red. "Thank you," finished Will. Sweet Little Red was nearly in tears as the brothers dismissed her. "She did it," said Jake confidently. "Don't be an idiot. Get the next one," said Will, dismissing his sibling. The curious DeWolf sat silently with a steely gaze. "Why were you at grandmother's house?" began Will. Only silence responded. Will tried again, but DeWolf remained a living statue. Jake, possessing a short temper, relieved all politeness in exchange for a brutal rant. "You want to go to jail? You want soap on a rope? You want to watch your back 24/7? But yet again the peculiar Mr. DeWolf looked into nothingness. The brothers had tired of his act, and were to remove him when he uttered in a raspy voice, "I opened the front door and waited for the old woman, and then shot her in the head." The boy's eyes grew wide, and DeWolf returned to limbo. The odd man left. "I can't believe he's covering for that hooded bitch." Will decided not to waste his breath. The sea witch engulfed Dear Red now wrestled with the giant Mr. Hunt. The Titan appeared to be breathing quickly. His muscles twitched. Will began. "You arrived on the scene with an axe, is that correct?" Yes, sir, that's correct," whispered the giant. Dear old Jake had lost his patience with the suspects. They'd been nothing but trouble. He decided he wanted answers, and he knew how to get them. He shouted and screamed bloody murder at the shy Mr. Hunt. "You murdered the old bad with an axe! You were involved!" "I was in love!" cried a very desperate and confused Sam. The bewildered Gumshoe simply stared as Sam retold his story of the spark that soon became a flame. How he came back day after day to Rose. The two became close before beginning a passionate affair. The gendarme had heard quite enough. Okay, you can go." The two detectives sighed. The case was simple. Black and white. A world that makes sense. However, the boys were quite thrown as they stepped out of the interrogation room to see all the suspects. Samuel Hunt's blood-drained body was quite a sight. The detectives quickly traced the trail in hopes of catching the diabolical DeWolf. This task, however, was made quite easy for them by the lack of blood in DeWolf's body. The suit held together what was left of DeWolf's innards. Somewhere far away from the carnage, Little Red skipped along the path, a stomach full of cake and a bag full of money. She carried on skipping as she put on her blood-red hood.